Hey everyone, Jerome with Restaurant Management University. Very excited to be with you today. I have my good friend Clint Arthur, who was a Iron Chef judge, and just wanted to introduce you guys to him. He has a lot to bring to the table. He has a lot of insights. He's kind of on the supplier side of our business, so I wanted to pick his brain and see, what he does different in his business and some tips he has for restaurant owners. So welcome, Clint. Great to have you today.
Awesome to be with you, sir. Thank you for introducing me to your people.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So, there's a lot of, when I first met you and I was like, oh, this guy's an Iron Chef judge, there's a lot of hype around you and all this. What's the story? How'd you get involved in that contest, and what's your business about?
All right. I just want to point out to all your people, this is a total content-driven interview, okay? There's not going to be any selling on this interview. I'm just going to be sharing with you guys. So how did I become the judge of Iron Chef America Battle Butter? How did that happen? How could a butter salesman like me get to be at the pantheon of gastronomic competitions? And I'll tell you how it happened, because I made it happen. I freaking made that thing happen. I said, man, I want to be the judge of Battle Butter on Iron Chef America. How am I going to do that? So at the time, I was the president of the Jean-Louis Paladin Foundation. If you don't know Jean-Louis Paladin, find out about Jean-Louis Paladin. Google his name, Jean-Louis Paladin, P-A-L-L-A-D-I-N. Jean-Louis Paladin was one of the great French chefs who brought gourmet cooking to the United States. He was so successful in the 80s that he was Ronald Reagan's chef at Ronald Reagan's 80th birthday dinner, which happened at his restaurant at the Watergate Hotel, which is, where the Democratic headquarters were. So if Reagan went to the Democratic headquarters building to go have his 80th birthday dinner, you can imagine how hot Jean-Louis Paladin was as a chef. And there's so much for you to learn from him. And the whole purpose of the Jean-Louis Paladin Foundation was to inspire and educate great chefs as to the importance of great ingredients through the memory and legacy of Jean-Louis Paladin. Now, since I was the president of that, it has since been folded into the James Beard Foundation, and there are amazing scholarship opportunities for chefs. If you go to James Beard Foundation website and type in Jean-Louis Paladin, you will find out about professional externship opportunities where you can apply for a grant to go study whatever you want. Like, we sent people to Italy to go learn about truffles. We sent chefs to Alaska to go fishing with the salmon fishermen in Alaska. We sent people to Maine to go diver scallop hunting. All kinds of great stuff that you can get.
That's fun.
It's awesome. So I called up the producers of Iron Chef America. Like, I hunted them down on the internet, and I said, hey guys, I have an idea for a cooking show competition, and I want to talk to you about it. It's basically, I want to do March Madness for cooking schools, and I think that you, as the producers of Iron Chef America, should produce that show. And they're like, wow, that's really interesting. Why don't you come in and we'll have a meeting about it? So I go in there. It's a good idea, right? I can't believe it hasn't been done yet. So I go in there and I meet with the guy and I say, oh, and by the way, I have another idea. I looked on your list of ingredients that you've had as the secret ingredient, and you've never had butter as the secret ingredient, and that should be the secret ingredient, and I should be the judge of that battle. And the guy's like, wow, I think you're right. That should be the ingredient, and you should be the judge. And that's how I made it happen. Now, it was really interesting because in the Battle Butter, there were all these butters on the table. And 5-star butter was not one of those butters that was on the table. There was goat butter, there was eschere, there was a whole bunch of different butters, but not 5-star butter on the table. However, in the battle, you will see the chefs using 5-star butter because it has a very distinctive blue plastic tubing. And the way that happened was, I said to the guy, okay, cool, I'm excited to be the judge. You'll let me know when that's going to happen. In the meantime, I'd like to have our butter be your house butter on Iron Chef America. And he says, well, I guess if it's good enough for Jean-Georges Van Besten, it'll be good enough for the Iron Chefs. And so that's how I got the butter on there. And look, the whole takeaway from this whole thing is nothing drops in your lap in this life. Everything that has ever happened for me, I went out there and I made it happen. I put myself on the line. I pushed beyond my comfort zone, and I focused my concerted effort on making things come true. And that's the way it's worked for me in my life, and that's the only strategy I can ever recommend to my students and to people that I want to help is, nobody's going to give you anything. You got to go out there and grab it.
Yep. Well, good lessons, Clint. I think there's a lot of takeaways there, and I know you have a lot to offer, restaurant owners. And I know you've worked with a lot of, high-end restaurants. Thomas Keller. I know you just did. What is it? Chop House.
Okay, I have not worked with Thomas Keller.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
However, I am currently. I'm so thrilled. I was just there at Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse. I have my butter on the table at Gordon Ramsay Steak in Las Vegas. It's the hottest restaurant in Vegas right now.
Nice.
I've worked with Alain Ducasse, with Danielle Boulou, with Jean-Georges Vauberchin, with Charlie Trotter. Charlie Palmer has been serving my butter for a decade now.
So everyone but Thomas Keller, what's going on? He just hasn't met you yet.
What's up with Thomas Keller? I really don't get it. The last time I haven't reached out to him in a long, long time. And when I did, they're like, oh, we've been getting the same butter from this lady in Vermont who has 18 cows and something like that. And it's like, okay, fine. That's what you want to do. Yeah. I'm not really looking for people who have, the butter requirements that are fulfilled by 18 cows. Most of what I do these days is for banquet facilities and room service facilities, in-suite dining. Like, for example, I have every piece of butter on the banquet tables at Bellagio, every piece of butter that goes out in the room service trays for Bellagio. The same for Vidara, the same for Aria. I have like 5 JW Marriott hotels right now, and we manufacture the portion control butter pieces using certified organic Northern California grass-fed butter, the best butter on earth. And it really is. It tastes delicious. And, here's the thing, this is another important lesson, and that is, look, we are in a tough economy still. I don't care what they say out there on the news. The economy is rough right now, and people are very picky with their dollars and pennies. Mm-hmm. And, I am providing the most expensive portion control butter in the world. There is no more expensive portion control butter. And there is no better portion control butter. And if there's any lesson that I learned at the Wharton Business School, and by the way, when people come on the webinar and attend the webinar that we're going to be doing together in a very short time from this video, every person who attends the live webinar is going to get a free copy of my book, my #1 best-selling book, What They Teach You at the Wharton Business School.
Wow.
Okay? So I'm happy to extend that because I really care about my brothers and sisters in the restaurant industry. Some of my closest friends are chefs like Gregory Gouraud and Vincent Poussel, and all of my clients I care deeply about, and I've been working in the restaurant industry since I was a little kid. So I really have strong ties to this industry, and I want it to thrive. And one of the most important lessons I learned at the Wharton Business School, which is one that I use in my business every day, is this. There is only one price that you should charge, and I don't care how successful McDonald's is. The price is high. High price, high quality. This is a key lesson from the Wharton Business School. They teach it to you over and over in different classes. One that I remember very clearly was a class called The Game, and it was a computer stock market simulation. And the teams that won the game were the Mercedes-Benz of their industries. And that's the only position you should look for in your niche. You should be the high price, high quality provider of your service. And why is that? Because when people go out to a restaurant, they are willing to pay for quality. They're not willing to pay for bullshit that's being passed off as quality. This is a great story. My daughter and I, we used to go out, father-daughter night, go have a steak dinner. And I remember we were going to this steakhouse here in Los Angeles quite a bit. And this one will go unnamed because, we went there 3 times, and then the 4th time we went there, she gets her steak, and it tastes gamey. So we send the steak back, and it's not a cheap steak. We send the steak back, and they bring out another one, and it's gamey again. That was the last time we went to that restaurant. I'd be going there, dropping $150 on father-daughter dinners week after week after week, and they lost me because they couldn't deliver quality. I was willing to pay high dollars for their quality, but as soon as they didn't deliver quality, it was over. And that's unfortunately, or fortunately, as the case may be, the situation that's real for restaurant owners today in this country. If you are able to deliver consistently high quality, you can get high dollars for it.
Right. I think that's an important lesson, and I think that's something we forget. And we all want to grow our business to be Chipotle and to be like the higher volume restaurants. But as a small restaurant owner, you have a distinct advantage. You can build relationships and rapport with people. You can offer high quality products, like you're saying, and you should charge premium prices. You should never undercut yourself, because that's your business. You're not Walmart. You're not McDonald's. You're not pumping out millions of dollars of frozen patties and things like that.
And there's many ways to deliver that quality. You can deliver that in your customer service. You can deliver that in your relationship with your customers. You can deliver it in many, many ways. You can deliver it in the follow-up after the meals. How many of you are following up after meals saying, hey, sending an email to the customer saying, hey, it was so great to see you in the restaurant last night. Thank you for coming in. We know you have a choice, and we appreciate when you choose us. How many of you are doing that? And these are great opportunities that a lot of people don't have. But really, when I looked at it, when I was writing my book, and I looked at why did the Wharton Business School teach me that lesson, I came up with this answer. And that is, when you are 99 years old and you're on your deathbed, hopefully it'll be that long, you're going to look back over your life and you're going to say, what did I do with my life? What did I accomplish? And the last thing you want to say is, I sold cheap hamburgers for cheap prices to customers who were cheap and didn't really get a lot of enjoyment out of it. What you want to say when you're on your deathbed is, hey, I stood for something. I delivered an amazingly high-quality experience to super high-quality people, and I got paid and rewarded handsomely for doing that for people because I made a positive impact on people's lives one meal at a time. And that's the way I feel about my butter. I mean, I am providing the world's best bread and butter experience with my portion control butter pieces for thousands of people every single day who are symbolically breaking bread with one another using the product that I supply directly. They take it out of the box and they put it on a plate and then they put it on the butter, and that's my contribution to thousands of meals every day. And I charge a lot of money for it, and I'm happy to be rewarded well for it, and I know that I'm doing the best at it than anybody in the whole world. And when I go to my deathbed, that's one of the things that I'm going to look back on and feel good about. And that's the lesson from the Wharton Business School.
Yeah. Well, what I love about you, Clint, is your passion and your, I don't want to say, but like higher purpose, all the things that you talk about, I identify with. Because the business we're in is not just serving food to people. Like, how important is that experience you had with your daughter every single week? That restaurant, or whatever restaurant you were going to, facilitated that experience, and all the people, all the employees, all the suppliers like yourself, and obviously the restaurant owner contributed to that. So you are making a positive difference in the world. That's huge.
I got to tell you, and I was really let down by that restaurant because, I'm a non-custodial parent. I only have the 1 day a week with her. And now that she's grown up, I don't even have that anymore. And when that restaurant let me down, they blew a really important little ritual that I was developing with her. They blew that for me. They really let me down. And I was willing to pay for that experience of taking her to the nice French bistro once a week. And when it went away, I lost out on a tremendous opportunity to build a relationship with someone I care very much about. And, that's the flip side. That's the responsibility that we have. People, our customers are counting on us to fulfill and make these moments of their lives special. And, that's a tremendous trust that we're given by the public.
I agree.
Awesome. Well, good, man. More good stuff to come.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about a lot of good things on this webinar, so make sure you guys are there. And thanks again, Clint, for hopping on with us today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to more great interaction with you and your people real soon. Thanks a lot.